Oh, kill him. Oh.
Juju and one with my free throw at.
Boss, falling out, just water need a replacement. I'm out here.
Not only have my fingers crossed, I pray I see it all. Yeah, stack 7 feet.
So it's only right, I'm still tossing around Knicks. Throw me the ball and watch what I do with it.
Tip slam off the miss.
All right, I'm here with Coach Beardy Matthews, AAU coach for the VCC Warriors last summer. And talk about kind of this major blow-up Matthew went through and how he handled it and what you saw on the court throughout the live period and all that, and even coaches reaching out to you, stuff like that.
The biggest thing with him is that, you know, if you look back at last year's season's AAU season, he really turned it on right towards the end and started, you know, putting his name out there. People started noticing him from how he played in Vegas. And then when it came this season AAU, his stock just blew up and really put his name out there. His development over the last year He's developed so much. His jump shot's better. His ball handling is better. He's always been a great teammate. He's always been someone that shares the ball with everyone. But his biggest thing is that now he's stepped up. He's that leader. He's a guy that you can go to in the clutch to go get you a bucket. He's a guy that can lock somebody up if you need him to play defense. His whole maturity about his game has improved night and day just in the last year, and he's improved so much that he's going to get so much better over this next year. And the sky is the limit for his abilities going full forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then what would you say, you just wouldn't be surprised if you saw him on TV, him on Syracuse, maybe make a play, like something with the versatility to his game and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that.
The things that I see every day in practice or in an open gym or in games are going to be things that people are going to be seeing soon in a couple years on national television. And it's going to be as simple as I used to see that every day in practice. Now everyone in the whole world is going to see it every single day when he's playing on Big Monday on TV or ACC Wednesday.
Yeah, the Cuse fans are going to love him. All right, well, this is Coach Beard. Thanks for taking your time.
Oh, yeah.
That's sweet. All right, I'm here with Matthews Middle School coach, Coach DeBose here. Now let's just talk about those years. Those were way back when. You got the stats in front of you here, I see.
Right.
And you guys talk about that special year. You guys won the city championship too.
Well, we didn't quite finish and win the city championship.
Okay.
We did go to the city championship.
Yes.
And it was actually our first appearance in the school's history. Okay. So, it was a very monumental occasion, and Matt played a huge key role for us to get there. So it was great.
Yeah, and then talk about kind of like what you saw at a young age, obviously real young, but as a basketball player in him, that you kind of see panning out now. You see why Cuse maybe wanted him.
Most definitely. And it's funny because I met Matt, and I saw Matt in the 5th grade, and he came here, and he said, "I want to play for you, Coach." And then here we don't start until 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
So it worked out. He came. He was my manager for his 6th grade year. Okay. Kind of learned the ropes. 7th grade year, I thought he was pretty good, and his body was growing, so he was getting he was tall, lanky, long. But in practice, I saw him make a couple moves that I told his mom. I said, "This is like an NBA move. It wasn't a typical middle school thing." So he definitely had the skills and the skill set that he needed to work on for the future. So I can see where that would happen in the future, actually. So.
Yeah, now how's it been for you, just looking back, especially with the recent commitment and all that, just knowing that he came through your halls, so to speak, and stuff like that, and you played a major part in, his growth as a player. You really did.
I'm proud. I'm extremely proud of him as a basketball player and as a person, because very respectful, good heart. He comes back and talks to the other kids every year.
Okay.
Since then, and I just can't say enough about him. And Syracuse is getting a great basketball player, but an even better person. So that's one thing I'm proud of. And we stay in constant communication. And we even talked right before he verbally committed to Syracuse. So that was definitely something that I was excited. I love Syracuse myself. So
it didn't hurt.
It did not hurt. I think Coach Boeheim is an excellent coach, and he fits right in with their program. I think he'll come in and make a huge impact.
Okay. All right, well, Coach DeBose, appreciate your time. You have a good rest of the one. I'm here with Matthew's uncle here now, and just imagine it was time for him to take off for Syracuse and all of that. What would you say to him, some advice, and just kind of like, what are your prayers going to be like for him, and just how do you picture like his whole next chapter of his life going and stuff like that?
I think for Matthew, some of the advice I would give him is just to be himself.
Okay.
Matthew is a winner. He's a winner, and he's always been. Matthew has gifts far beyond that he even recognized. Matthew will go down to Syracuse or go up to Syracuse and do a wonderful job. I think with Matthew has the ability to change a community. And what I mean by that is he has so many gifts within himself, and not so much what he does on the basketball court, but I think his biggest gift is what he does off the basketball court.
I agree.
He makes people feel special. And I think a lot of that comes from his parents, what his mom has instilled in him, what his dad has instilled in him. He'll do great things on the basketball court. He'll do great things for the Syracuse community in terms of him coming and producing on the basketball court. But behind the scenes is what really makes Matthew special. When people come into, his surroundings, he makes them feel very special. Matthew has a way when people walk away from Matthew, they remember him, not what he's done on the court, but what he's done off the court. So that's what makes Matthew special, and he will make that type of impact at Syracuse also. So just a great kid, all-around kid, very humble, and he knows that what he has is a blessing. The gifts that he has is a blessing.
Doesn't take it for granted.
He doesn't take it for granted. He won't. You'll never find Matthew bragging about, what he's capable of doing or what he can do. I think in many cases, Matthew really doesn't understand his potential. Yeah. I think he still has yet to grow into his potential. But just a wonderful kid, wonderful kid. Syracuse is going to love him, and at some point the world is going to love him. They're going to see that Matthew's more than just a basketball player, and that's what really makes him special.
It'll be very interesting to see what he does with his life, because you said you touched on changing the community and the world. Like, I kind of see him could you see him as maybe somebody that's just
I saw
really
that
impacts the world either? Doesn't matter what scale it's on, but kind of everybody does in one way or another.
And you're absolutely right.
But he's special.
Matthew has that special thing about himself. And again, he's not one to boast or brag about who he is.
Yeah.
But Matthew will, and I predict at some point, change the world. In some way, shape, or form, he has the ability to change the world. Yeah. And he's always had that about himself. And watching Matthew grow as a young child into the young man he is today, didn't know how he was going to make an impact, didn't know what he was going to become. But over the years now, you see where he's at today, and it's really no surprise. It's really no surprise to see him where he's at today. And watching the basketball community just really embrace him for his athletic ability and what he's able to do on the court. But as an uncle, what makes me the proudest of him is how he makes people feel off the court, and how he's able to bring smiles to people's faces and allow them to shine in his presence. So that's what makes me as an uncle the most proud of Matthew. Just an awesome kid, great kid.
Hey, that's awesome. I appreciate your time.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
What your first thoughts were on Matthew, kind of how you've seen him grow on and off the court, ever since then.
Well, I've had the opportunity to be fortunate. I've had Matthew involved with me since he was in third grade, and he first came to one of my skill sessions, and it's just been amazing just to see the growth that has transpired up until this point. But I can remember Matt as a third grade kid coming in that was real kind of gangly, long, very uncoordinated, and what we were trying to do at that point was just give him the basic fundamental skills at an earlier age in terms of getting his body balanced, but also really just formulating his fundamental skills. Yeah. And then I just continue to see him grow over the years. And at first it was kind of like a struggle because I know he wanted to do so many good things and he wanted to impact right away, but his body wouldn't allow him to do that, and he was growing so fast that his balance just wasn't there. And what happened is as the years kept going and he got more involved and he continued to play, I could start to see where he got better and started getting better, and where he was at a point where he could be a pretty good player down the road, and then watching him shooting the basketball, feet growing a lot, he's starting to get more athletic, and then the last couple of years especially, is when I really saw the fruits just starting to come into play where he's starting to be very athletic. His coordination caught up to his body, and then he ended up just really becoming a real good player that could play above the rim, where he could play 3 or 4 different positions. And I think that's one of the things that really attracted some of the college coaches because Matt worked so hard to be committed to improving his skills. And then one of the things about Matt, he's really diligent on working and developing not only his skill set, but his body. He stretches a lot every day. He uses stretch bands. He's up early in the morning running. So he's one of those kids that have been totally dedicated to conditioning his body as well as developing his skill.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. And then kind of just to establish your background and stuff like that too, I've heard a lot about you, as far as coaching, players you've worked with, stuff like that. If you kind of wanted to just give us a little background on that, touch on some of the names and stuff like that.
Okay, well, I've been fortunate. Myself, I had an opportunity. I've been a college coach for 30 years. I coached at Ohio State for 5 years as an assistant. Prior to that, I was at Boston College as well for 8 years, and then Fordham University for 3 years, St. Joe's University in Philadelphia, Canisius College up in Buffalo, New York, where I went to school and played myself, and I was fortunate to have a Division I scholarship. Awesome. So, you know, a lot of years of basketball. I was a head coach at a small Division III school in Buffalo called the Uville College, and had a lot of success there. But every stop of the way, I had an opportunity to have a lot of success working as a head coach or as an assistant coach, and the beauty of it was being able to give kids' lives values and help improve players.
Yeah.
And then I ended up retiring here, staying in Columbus, and then when I would go to high school games, I started seeing the importance of really developing skill. And so from that element, you know, I decided to run a skills program, and so I developed a skills program. It really developed and grew and transpired. I've been running it now for almost 12 years, and I also coach AAU basketball and also work numerous camps. I'm actually working at John Lucas camp in October. I'm a member of the Hoop Group down in Reading, Pennsylvania. I've been there for about 14 years, a very well-renowned camp. So, you know, I'm still on the camp circuit.
It's kind of a little bit all over the place.
Yes, and
touching basketball.
a lot of basketball, but
levels.
I really enjoy working with kids and really giving kids a lot of value and improving their skill set and just being a mentor as well.
Not everybody makes it to the NBA, you know. So
Absolutely.
Everybody needs that, you know.
I've been fortunate. I've had Michael Redd, who played at Ohio State, had a 13-year NBA career. Howard Isley, who played for us at Boston College, played in the league with the Utah Jazz and also the New York Knicks. He played for about 11 years. We had Dana Barrows from Boston College who played. Bill Curley was a 6'11" kid at Boston College who played about 5 or 6 years. Ken Johnson, a 7-footer that played for the Miami Heat. So, you know, we've had some kids that have gone on and had an opportunity to reach their dreams, and that's the beauty of it as well.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Now, just like kind of looking back on all this in like a decade or something like that, what do you want to see out of Matthew? Not even basketball related, just him as, like, what will put a smile on your face?
Just continue to grow like he's done as a person, and then be able to come back and grab other kids and teach them some of the things that he learned and give them the blueprint that he had and impact their lives. And if he can do that and be able to impact other lives, then I'm happy.
Yeah, it's almost like you passed it down to
right,
him.
right. And he's become a model citizen, and he got great parents. He stands for all the right things. And, you know, whoever, like I say, the fact that he's going to Syracuse, they're going to get a good kid that's very coachable, that's going to work hard, that's going to be committed, and that also be a good kid that's going to help other kids and be a good teammate away from basketball.
That's
going to be the beauty of it as well.
That's huge. All right, well, I appreciate you taking all the time, you know. And
Okay.
Have good luck with the skill session and all that. And keep getting those kids better.
Well,
I'm here with Matthew Moyer's head coach, Coach Stive here now. I'll talk about, you know, this fall specifically, the work Matthew's been putting in, especially since the Syracuse commit. You know, what are you guys kind of doing here to get him better?
Well, the thing about, you know, Matt is he's willing to work on his own.
Okay.
And with some players, you know, today, you know, that's harder for others. And he's committed to put the work in on his own, to take extra time to get shots up on the gun, to work on his skills that he needs at the next level, and also for the next 2 years here in high school. So, you know, he does a good job of juggling the academic responsibility and his basketball responsibilities as well.
That's real good. Now, as far as this year coming up, it's his junior season will be real big. You guys got big stands here and stuff like that. How do you picture just, you know, that perfect game going as a team all around, and Matthew playing his role just in front of a packed house, something like that?
Well, I think, you know, my biggest job is to take the individual talents of the players on our team and meshing them together for the goal of the team.
Yeah.
And the thing about Matthew is his versatility. You know, he's big enough and strong enough to do damage inside. Absolutely. And he's really worked on his outside game as well. And that's sort of been, I think, one of the big factors with his recruitment is over the last year, coaches would call me and say, he does a lot of things, but how well can he shoot it?
And over the last 6 to 8 months, he's really improved his outside perimeter shot. And I think that was a big factor for him in the recruiting period.
Okay. Now, what's one thing you think, it just put a smile on your face if when Matthew graduates, something he accomplished here while at his time with you, under your wing, whether it be accolades or whether it just be as a person?
A couple of things, last year as a sophomore, his family moved here to Gahanna. And this was a new school, new community, new program, new friends, just knew everything as a sophomore. And I know that was a big adjustment for him. And I think one of the goals that I think would be pretty cool when he graduates is, to walk out of here in the hallways of Gahanna Lincoln High School. It's a place that he can call home.
Look back on it.
It's nice. We have our players. Our players want to come back. Rob Brandenburg from VCU. Last night at the football game, Javon Bess was wearing his Michigan State gear at our football game.
That's great.
And I want this to be a place that he can call home and he can always come back to and feel comfortable coming back to. So, to me, I think that's probably goal number one. And he's such a great role model for our younger players. So, over the next 2 years of his high school career, I'm sure there will be some little kids at our games that want to be the next Matthew Moyer, and he'd be a great person, to emulate and follow as well.
That's awesome, Coach. I think you said all the right things there, and I appreciate you taking your time. Best of luck. All right, I'm here with Coach Vic, and he's been very instrumental in Matthew Moyer's, career, especially the last 2 years for basketball. Talk about his progression as a player and kind of what you've seen out of him, start to finish in the open gym process that you put on Sundays.
Okay, I actually first saw Matthew play when he was a freshman at Whetstone High School. He was playing against Northland High School, where I've been the bookkeeper for the last 15 years. And Matthew was only about 6'3" at the time. He actually was a pretty good three-point shooter. He ran the floor very, very well. He played hard with a lot of intensity, and you could tell that he had a lot of fire to him. After that season, Matthew had a growth spurt, and he came to Coach Vic's open gym at that time, that summer, and each week he would come, I would talk to him, give him a few pointers. The one thing I really admired about him was how hard he played regardless of the score of the games. And that's very important, because if you're going to be a great player, you have to play hard all the time. You play the game, you don't play the score. And so when I watched Matthew and I compared him to other players from the 2016 class in Ohio, and that class is very deep in Ohio, I met with several rankers, raters, in particular John Stovall. And I told him that once it's all said and done in the class of 2016, according to their ratings, that there were only two people in Ohio that I see that could be rated higher than Matthew. One was VJ King, the other one was a kid named Amari Spellman.
Who are both now.
And both of them are now no longer in Ohio. So in my eyes, that was going to make Matthew the #1 recruit in the 2016 class in Ohio. A lot of people doubted that, but again, I watched him play at my open gyms, and he played against top people. I watched him play against Issa Ahmad, who in my opinion is the very best player in the 2015 class in Ohio.
Matchup nightmare.
And it was, but Matthew handled himself extremely, extremely well. Also, I watched Matthew play against Jason Tate and Javon Bess. And Javon Bess, in my opinion, was definitely the most skillful, best all-around player in Ohio in the class of 2014. And Matthew still held his own. And I could tell each week he got better and better each and every time out. And I told him, there was a time when he was really, I feel like he was doubting himself. He was doubting his progression. And I remember we were on a trip to Michigan to watch Michigan play against Michigan State. And I told him, you're going to be special. You're going to be very special. In fact, you'll be one of the best in your class. And he first he said, "Oh, Coach Vic, you don't have to say that," because he thought I was just saying it. And I told him, "No, listen to me, I'm serious." And I spelled it out to him, and he said, "Okay, Coach Vic, I'm going to do what you said." And he has. He's done exactly what I asked him to do, and he's worked hard, and he keeps continuing to work hard, and I think he's going to keep getting better. I'd say at this point in time, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's probably at about 7. He's got 10 being the best.
Where at this age or in his career down the road?
No, at this age.
Okay, gotcha.
I think he's at 7. I think that he's going to make some strides this season that are going to just blow a lot of people away. And Syracuse, they have a gem. I mean, they have a diamond, and he's going to shine like a diamond, and he's going to do great things at Syracuse. And I'm really proud of him. I love him, and I think that Matthew's going to continue to make all of us proud.